KNSI. Welcome to another edition of Taking You Home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate. You can hear this program every Thursday morning at 7:23, Saturdays as well at 7:50 here on KNSI. Remember to start your home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Brandon Johnson in studio with us. Brandon, I understand, first of all, we're going to get into some statistics these days.
Yeah, good morning. How are you, Bob?
I am going to make it, as I like to say, and one of my favorite things to do is talk numbers with people because, boy, it's good to be able to do some comparison shopping.
Yeah, and so what I was going to talk about here this morning is just some year-over-year sales data in the St. Cloud area for September.
Okay.
But what's important is putting some context in these numbers and specifically what does it mean for you. So you can say it's a strong market, a weak market, all of that. It really is dependent on your specific situation as a buyer or seller to make sense of that data, correct? So that's what we try to attempt to do is give the statistics, what's happening in the market, and then tailor that around what's your needs are.
You know, I go back to when I used to do a lot of work with car dealers. You know, they put dreams in driveways, right?
Yeah.
Well, they would also say, you know, there is a buyer for this car. We just have to find him.
Yep.
And it's the same thing when it comes to real estate because you guys make dreams come true. You just have to find the right dreamer.
Yeah, you brought a story in my head that way back in my early real estate days where if you have a purple house, sell a purple house.
Yes.
There's that one buyer out there, don't try and hide it. So that saying is always, I relate that into various aspects of real estate is, you know, be profound with what you have.
Sometimes, though, things can get in the way, like higher interest rates, low inventory. What do I do?
Yep, there's always a silver lining in every scenario, and again, it's what's your situation, what are your options. Okay. So I'll get into that a little bit more, but I just wanted to we just ended here, we're in the first week of October, ended the month of September. So what's going on in St. Cloud year over year, September 2023 versus September 2022, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So for these statistics, basically it's St. Cloud proper, what I call St. Cloud, Sauk Rapids, Sartell, St. Joe, and Waite Park. Right. So in 2023, we had 113 closed transactions in St. Cloud proper.
This year?
This year.
Okay.
In September of 2022, we had 156.
Okay.
So that's, we're down about 28%
okay.
Year over year in the month of September, which is significant. And then if you go back 2 years to September 2021, and St. Cloud proper, there was 191 closed transactions in the St. Cloud area.
Yeah.
So cumulatively, that's a decrease in the number of transactions of over 40%, 41%.
Okay, but we can also go back those 2 years and see where interest rates were, right? And that has a huge influence, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it's very impactful because again, it comes back to our old saying as people buy a payment, not a purchase price.
Right,
It's what
right.
does the cumulative principal, interest, taxes, and insurance equate to on a monthly basis to a purchase price, and that's what people buy. They buy a $1,500 a month payment or a $2,000 a month payment, and if that equates to a $300,000 house, that's what they're in the market for, or if it's a $400,000.
And one of the other things that we have said here is that you are buying the house, not the rate.
Yep,
right?
Exactly.
Because we may be high right now, or perception may say that because we're really not. But what if you go ahead and pay whatever the rates are right now? A year or two from now, they drop back down to 5%, 4%, whatever. You're in great shape.
Well, what's interesting is interest rates in the last 12 to 14 months have pretty much doubled, correct? We're over 7% here now.
Right.
So we talk about the number of transactions here down 28%, 41%, but you want to know what values have done? In the last year, September 2023 versus September 22, values are up. Median price in St. Cloud is up 2.1%.
Right.
So people from a monthly payment standpoint are paying probably 30 to 40% more on their monthly payment, but yet values have not decreased, they've actually increased. And if you go back 2 years to 2021, the median price in the St. Cloud area is up 5.8%.
Okay, so what does that mean overall to the real estate market?
It means a couple things. It means there's despite the increased interest rates, there's a lack of inventory versus demand.
Okay.
But what it means to me is whenever we get to the point where interest rates fall, whether that's down to 6%, even 5%. I think the days of being under 4 are
Yeah.
probably in our lifetimes.
Probably never.
Probably never again.
Yeah.
But if interest rates drop to 6, 5.5, low 5s,
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to see values escalate back to the 10, 12, 15% appreciation levels. Because again, it's what does it equate to a payment?
Sure.
And the fact that we've increased a monthly cost to a house 30 to 40%, and the values are still rising,
Right.
tells me that if interest rates, when they do drop, values are even going to shoot up even more.
What do buyers or potential buyers need to keep in mind then? Because to me, I'm thinking in my head, save, so that down payment, no matter what it is, you can afford to make more than a 20% down payment.
It really depends on your situation. You don't need a 20% down payment.
Right.
But let's just say, okay, you save and interest rates come down to 6%, but now prices have appreciated 15%. So you're paying 15% more for the house, but you're getting a 1% interest rate deal on your monthly payment.
Right.
So what's better for you? The question is the house you're buying, are you going to stay there for 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of you don't know what the future brings. But is it your long-term house?
Yeah.
Or is it your first house that you're going to be in 3 to 4 years, get married, grow a family, and go on to something else? If the interest rate isn't as important if you're going to be in the house less than 5 years.
Right.
It just isn't. Versus the appreciation of the house going up 10% a year for the next 2 to 3 years.
I would say, folks, if your realtor is not talking to you like this, you need a different realtor.
Well,
it just makes perfect sense to me.
I think the loan officers play a part, the realtors play a part.
Oh, for sure.
It's really about discussing your specific situation as opposed to renting, where you want to be, career path, all of that, and bringing it together to come up with a strategy and a plan.
But that's what you do at VoigtJohnson Real Estate, right?
That's correct. And that's our role, is not just to find the dream house, but to come up with a financial strategic plan.
All right, how do we make that happen?
320-774-2400 is our number at VoigtJohnson.com. And VoigtJohnson.com, you can look on all of our realtors. If you've decided to hire a realtor, please consider one of our agents as an option for you.
Taking you home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate, Thursday morning at 7:23, Saturday morning at 7:50 here on KNSI. Start your home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Brandon, thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
That's good.